back with some more news on what a day to start, because day one of the 2026 FIFA World Cup is officially in the books, and it gave us everything. We've got Mexico winning the opening match in front of a roaring Estadio Azteca, a referee handing out 3 red cards in one single game, Raul Jimenez breaking down in tears after the most emotional goal of the night, and then, out of absolutely nowhere, Jose Mourinho returning to Real Madrid on the same day. Thus, a referee deported before the tournament even started, a ticket price scandal that has fans furious, and a whole lot more. So let's get straight into it. The first ever match of the 2018 World Cup era belongs to Mexico, who beat South Africa 2-0 at the legendary Estadio Azteca. And honestly, for the home fans, this could not have started any better. Just 9 minutes into the tournament, Julian Quinones pounced on an awful mistake at the back from South Africa, with Sithole getting caught on the ball right at the edge of his own box, and Quinones smashed it home to score the very first goal of World Cup 2026. And get this, that is reportedly the earliest goal in a World Cup opening game since 2006. The entire stadium exploded. Before the match, the opening ceremony had already set the tone, with Andrea Bocelli, J Balvin, Shakira and Burna Boy performing in front of a packed Azteca. And think about what this stadium means for a second. This is now the first venue in history to open 3 different World Cups, the same ground where Pelé lifted the trophy in 1970 and where Maradona produced a Hand of God in 1986. And with the expanded 48-team format and so many third-place teams advancing, this win pretty much puts one foot in the knockout rounds for El Tri already. A dream start for the hosts. But the second goal of the night, that is the one that hit different. Next up, Raul Jimenez scored, and then he broke down crying. And look, if you know this man's story, you were probably crying with him. In the 67th minute, the 35-year-old striker put Mexico 2-0 up, and it was his first ever World Cup goal. But here is why it matters so much. Back in 2020, Jimenez suffered a horrific head injury, a fractured skull, an injury so serious the doctors genuinely feared his career was over. People questioned whether he should ever step on a football pitch again, and now, 6 years later, this man is scoring at a home World Cup in front of his own people at the Azteca. The cameras caught him in tears immediately after the goal, and honestly, the whole stadium felt it with him. When he was subbed off in the 76th minute, the entire Azteca rose to give him a standing ovation. Sometimes football writes scripts that no movie ever could, and this was one of those moments. But while Jimenez gave us the feel-good story of the night, the referee made sure this match will be remembered for a very different reason too. Next up, the referee handed out 3 red cards in the World Cup opener. Yes, 3 in one match, on day 1. And honestly, I don't even know where to start with this one. Brazilian referee Wilton Sampaio was the man in the middle, and let me break down how this circus unfolded. Early in the second half, South Africa's Spefalo Sithole, the same man whose mistake gifted Mexico the first goal, fouled Brian Gutierrez, who was clean through on goal. Sithole was the last man back, so that is a clear red card for denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, and reports say he will now sit out 2 matches. So one mistake cost his team a goal, and his second mistake might have cost him his entire tournament. Brutal. Then later in the half, Femba Zwane, who had only just come on as a substitute, caught Roberto Alvarado in the face with his hand, and after a VAR review, Sampaio went to the pitch side monitor and sent him off too. South Africa down to 9 men in the World Cup opener. But here is the twist nobody saw coming. Late in the game, Mexico's own defender Cesar Montes was shown a straight red card as well, and what reports described as a surprise twist following a foul in the run-up play. So Mexico finished with 10 men, South Africa finished with 9, and the very first match of this World Cup turned into a card festival. Now, were all 3 reds justified? The Sithole one, absolutely. The Zwane one, you cannot raise your hand to someone's face. VAR was always going to catch that. But the Montes one had fans scratching their heads, because a straight red in open play for that kind of foul felt harsh to a lot of people watching. Either way, if day 1 is anything to go by, the referees at this tournament are not here to play games. And that is going to be a storyline all summer long. Next up, Jose Mourinho is officially back at Real Madrid. Oh wow. I mean, on the exact same day the World Cup kicks off, Real Madrid decided to drop one of the biggest managerial bombshells in years. The special one has signed a 3-year deal at the Bernabeu running until 2029, returning to the club he last managed 13 years ago. Madrid reportedly triggered a €15 million release clause to pull him out of Benfica, and he officially starts work on July 13th, the day preseason begins. Let's be real about why this happened. Real Madrid just finished this season with nothing, no trophies. Xabi Alonso was fired back in January, caretaker boss Alvaro Arbeloa could not save the season, and to make it even more painful, Barcelona clinched the La Liga title by beating Madrid 2-0 in an El Clasico, the first time in 94 years that the Spanish league title was decided in a direct meeting between the two rivals. Imagine losing the title to your biggest enemy, face to face. That is rock bottom for a club like Madrid. So President Florentino Perez, fresh off his re-election where Mourinho was reportedly a core pillar of his campaign, went back to the man who once won La Liga with a record points haul back in 2012. Now here's the spicy part. Mourinho is walking into a dressing room with Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Jr. and Jude Bellingham, three superstars with three massive egos, and Mourinho is famously a man who bows to nobody. Some people are already calling this a marriage destined to explode long before the contract ends, but they say his leadership and defensive organization is exactly what this chaotic squad needs. Either way, Mbappe is going to come back from this World Cup to a brand new boss, and that storyline alone is worth the price of admission. And the fact that this news dropped right as the World Cup opener was being played, classic Mourinho energy, stealing the headlines without even trying. Next up, a World Cup referee got deported before the tournament even began, and honestly this one is just embarrassing for everyone involved. One of the referees selected for this World Cup was stopped by US authorities at Miami International Airport over unspecified vetting concerns. According to the referee himself, he was questioned for 11 hours before being sent back home, and FIFA then quietly removed him from the official referees roster. 11 hours. For a man FIFA invited to officiate the biggest sporting event on the planet. To his credit, the referee handled the whole thing with class, telling his supporters that God willing, he will be at the next one. But think about what this means for regular fans. Every FIFA-appointed official can get turned away at the border. What about the thousands of supporters flying in from all over the world this summer? There were already concerns about US immigration policies hanging over this tournament, and this story poured gasoline on that fire before a single ball was even kicked. Next up, this is officially the most expensive World Cup in history, and fans are absolutely furious. For the first time ever, FIFA introduced dynamic pricing, meaning ticket prices automatically rise with demand. And with more than 500 million ticket requests submitted in the first sales phase alone, you can guess exactly what happened. Prices went through the roof. Resale sites have reportedly listed tickets for Portugal versus Colombia and Miami at anywhere between $3,000 and $12,000. $12,000 for a group stage match. And in the cost of flights, hotels, and travel across three massive countries, and lifelong football fans are realizing they simply cannot afford to be there. The criticism honestly writes itself. The people's game is slowly being priced away from the actual people, and FIFA pointing at record demand numbers does not change how bad this looks. Next up, the last dance is finally here. Mexico may have opened the tournament, but the two biggest names in the history of this sport are about to begin their final World Cup. Cristiano Ronaldo, 41 years old, and Lionel Messi, 38, are both heading into their record 6th World Cup, something no men's player has ever done before. And the stakes could not be more different for the two of them. Messi has already won it all. He is defending the title Argentina won in Qatar. He already holds the records for most World Cup matches played and most minutes on the pitch. And here is the big one. He is just 3 goals away from breaking Miroslav Klose's all-time World Cup scoring record of 16. 3 goals. If Argentina go deep into this tournament, that record is gone. Ronaldo, on the other hand, is still chasing the one trophy that has escaped him his entire career. And the hunger is clearly still there. Because the man scored 30 goals in 37 matches for Al Nassr this season at 41 years old, which is honestly ridiculous. And here is the scenario every football fan is praying for. Depending on how the brackets fall, Messi and Ronaldo could meet at a World Cup for the very first time in their very last tournament. If that match happens, it might be the most watched football game in history. And the demand already proves it, because Argentina's group stage matches were reportedly the first to completely sell out, with fans desperate to witness Messi's farewell. The world knows exactly what it is about to lose, and everyone wants one last look. Next up, Japan just got hit with horrible news right before their tournament begins. Reports say Captain Wataru Endo is dealing with an injury that will force Japan to completely reshuffle their setup. And that is a massive blow, because losing your captain and your midfield anchor on the eve of a World Cup is the kind of thing that can derail an entire campaign. Japan were being talked about as a serious dark horse this time round, so all eyes will be on how they handle this. Meanwhile, day 1 is not even finished yet, because South Korea face Czechia in Zapopan in the second match of the tournament, and from tomorrow the action explodes across all 3 host countries. The group stage machine is officially rolling, 104 matches between now and the final on July 19th at MetLife Stadium. So when you put everything together, what a first day this was. Mexico won the opener 2-0, with Quinones scoring the fastest opening game goal in 20 years. Raul Jimenez completed one of the most emotional comeback stories football has ever seen. The referee threw 3 red cards in a single match. Jose Mourinho hijacked the entire news cycle by returning to Real Madrid after 13 years. A referee got deported, ticket prices are completely out of control, and Messi and Ronaldo are about to begin their final dance. One day, and we already have all of this. So the only question now is simple. If day 1 was this crazy, what on earth do the next 38 days have in store for us? That is all for now.